Bonjour everybody, hoping that you're well. Today we're going to do a look recreation, and I know it's been a while since I actually did one. The last one that I did was a recreation of the Asteroid City Look. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to check it. And today we have something a little bit different. This is a shot from a Versace commercial from one of their campaigns. It's a beautiful spot, by the way. I will leave a link down in the description as well if you want to check it. And this is the shot that we're going to try and recreate today. So, girl on the beach. It's a beautiful look, such a beautiful look. When I saw it, I was like, I want to try and recreate it. I love to spend some time trying to recreate looks. This is what I like to do to sort of like have some fun once in a while. So the shot that we're going to try and match to this one is this one. So it's a similar setting. It is a girl on the beach. You see, we've got water, we've got skin tones, skies. It should be a good candidate to try and match to this one. So let's have a look. So our base shot is a red raw shot, which I'm decoding using the IPP2 color science. If you don't know what it's all about, I'll leave a link to one of my previous videos when I talk about color management. And today I'm going to grade in Davinci wide gamut like I like to do, okay? So, well, first of all, let's try and assess what we're missing, okay? So I would say we need to open up exposure a little bit. So I need to emulate that. So I'm going to go into my HDR panel tab here. You can go into your primaries tab as well. This is a little bit more precise when it comes to exposure. So I'm going to raise exposure a little bit, okay? There you go. Now I'm going to create another node, which I'm going to call contrast. And I'm going to go into my RGB curves, which is this tab right here. Let's go into custom curves. Let's pop this open. And now I'm going to try and get to a similar level of contrast with a curve, okay? Let's not fuss too much with it for the moment. But there you go, that is my contrast node. Now, what do I see between those two shots? What's the main difference? Well, it's actually the color temperature, the color balance. Ours is quite warm at the moment. We need to sort of like bridge the gap and get closer to this cooler world. So how are we going to proceed? So let's actually create another node, serial node, that we are going to call balance, all right? And using my HDR tab, I'm going to grab my global wheel and I'm going to just nudge it in this cooler world. I just want to create a bit of color separation. There you go. So now that we are getting closer, I'm going to create another serial node that I'm going to call hue, because when I compare those two shots, our blues lean a bit more towards cyan in our ref than what we've got going on in our shot. So I'm going to actually just get these, just sort of like wipe right here. I'm gonna go into my curves. I'm going to go into my hue versus hue curves. I'm going to rotate my blues and cyans to get into that cyany world for our blues. All right, I'm going to create another node after to cool my image even further, okay? And the reason why I have a node here that I'm going to call Look, it's just a cooling operation. The reason why I have it here is that I sort of like need this node, because if I don't have this node and I try to rotate the hues after on a very cool image, it's going to be harder to isolate the skin. So that is why I'm doing it in like sandwich between those two cooling operation. The balance operation is mostly to get into a more like neutral territory. Then I'm rotating my blues to get a tighter match with these and just cooling off my image again a little bit with this one. I'm trying to closer match by playing with my contrast. We've got some elevated blacks in RF, so I want to just emulate that a little bit so that we stay soft. And so that's where we started. That's where we are at now. Okay, so we're already a lot closer to what is going on. We sort of like match the world. And now what I want to try and take care of right now is the texture, because in our ref we're a bit softer, and in our shot we are quite sharp at the moment. So I just want to play a little bit with that. So I want to create another node prior to my contrast node. I'm going to right click and go gamma, linear. I'm going to blur my image, and I'm blurring in a linear tone curve because it's a bit more organic in that sort of like domain. You can try and blur not in linear. Well, you're gonna have slightly different results, especially for highlights. But let's actually blur our image, and let's blur it slightly. Just wanna see like 0.4, just a little bit, okay. Great, cool, I like that. And as a last little touch, because this was my blur node, as a last little touch, I just want to add a little bit more texture into my shot because it's quite polished at the moment. And I just, you know, that blur and that sort of like red sensor is quite clean. So I just want to create another node, serial node, that I'm going to call grain. And I'm going to go into my open effects, go film grain, and I'm going to go in a 35mm preset right here. Going to tweak it a little bit, increase the softness slightly. I just want a hint of a texture here in my image. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, guys, so this is our starting point, and this is where we are at now. I'm quite liking what we've created. What do you think? I think it's looking nice. And as a last little touch, in my hue node, I'm going to actually rotate my yellows because I want to bring this hat a little bit in a greener territory. There you go. Just last little tweak. Before, after. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, this look recreation episode, because as I said, it's been a while. Let me know down there in the comments if you enjoyed it. please leave a like, subscribe to the channel to not miss the future updates, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video. Salut, prenez soin de vous.